Today is Sunday, June 29th, 2025. And here we've got our lemongrass, some ashwagandha, some flowers I'm trying to get going, our basil, and you can see the snap peas are still hanging in there, producing. And our squash is starting to make it up the trellis. You can see we got a little rampicante coming up here. And some smaller ones down there, not rampicante. I think those are butterbush squashes. And here's the bigger rampicante we've got. I need to try to pick that one. Some bees pollinating. And here's one of our pawpaw trees doing well. Look at the big leaves of that one underneath that shade cloth. And these are our Thai long beans. We got to eat those for the first time this week. Those were good. Another little bumblebee doing his job. Keeping an eye out for any squash bugs too. We've been having a lot of squash bugs. And speaking of, there's one right now. I got this from Home Depot the other day. It was like 50 bucks. It came with the battery and the charger, and it works with my my other Ryobi tool, so I'm happy with that. And it's satisfying to know that I'm getting some of these bugs off my plants. Also, if you look here, these eggs that they lay are the squash bugs. What I do is if I see them, I just come along and scrape them right off. And then I've got lots of aphids on my Thai green beans. I just clean them right off. I don't really do anything with soap or neem oil. I try not to spray anything at all in the garden because I like it to be organic and as least interfered with as possible. Just looking for any more squash bugs. Here's our mulberry. Look how big this thing's gotten. I need to trim this back. But I mentioned in the past, this is a dwarf mulberry. I want to try to graft onto it some normal, I think, white or red mulberries. And back here, you can see we've got more Thai long green beans. Over here, looks like this is a cucumber beetle or squash beetle. Looks like a ladybug, but it is not. See it there. And then over here is one of its larval forms. Well, just slowly getting these. You can see our tomatoes are producing nicely. These are the cherry tomatoes from Baker Creek. And this is an ice cream bean. And I just planted some seeds here. It looks like I need to transplant them. And our Three Sisters corn is coming along. It did not get too high. I don't think it had enough nitrogen, but it is serving its purpose as far as being like a trellis for the beans and the New England sugar pie pumpkins that I planted up there. And here we have the big Zack tomato growing for the Tomato Challenge 2025. This is the plant that it is on, and I have trellised it, and I am actually taking off all the other flower buds. I wanted to focus all of its energy on that challenge tomato. And interplanted, you can see I've had some basil there. And here, this blight is already getting to the pink brandywine. No, I think it's like a yellow beefsteak tomato here. More basil doing well. Got a Roma tomato coming in there. This is my second big Zack plant, and it does not have a tomato yet. So you can see I'm trying to pollinate these flowers. Once I get a tomato there, then I will go ahead and pick the tomato that I want to use from this plant, and then I'll cut off all the others. I just planted some leeks. Kind of forgotten that I had them. Probably not the time of year, but I'm planning to get rid of these cabbages and then plant more leeks here. And well, looks like I forgot to harvest a garlic or an onion. You can see how much garlic I harvested in my garlic challenge video I did last week. Over here, this is kind of a neat looking tomato. This is the Sarroise tomato from Baker Creek. I kind of planted them all together. Didn't mean to, but now I'm trying to trellis them farther apart. And you can see the Three Sisters experiment kind of going wild over there with lots of cherry tomatoes in the mix. I found on this plant a huge tomato hornworm. You can see he was chowing down, and I fed him to the birds. And over here we have all of our cucumbers, and I've already harvested some. You can see there's some more growing in there. These are, I think they're called Parisian pickling, and so I let them get just a little bit bigger than that. Not too big though, because like I said, I like to make some little lacto-fermented pickles. And so I just kind of check throughout here once a day. Oh, here's a good one. I check throughout here once a day to make sure that I don't have any that are getting too big, because if you don't harvest them, here's one that's almost ready right there. If you don't harvest them, they start to get too big, and then your plant will actually stop producing more cucumbers. So it will try to put all of its energy into that one. I found one here the other day that I had forgotten, and it weighed like maybe a little bit over 1/4 of a pound. So I think I got it just in time before that happened. You can see the persimmon tree is doing well. I've actually got the branches tied down to some little logs for weights. I'm trying to get it not to grow taller, but to grow out. And speaking of which, let me get my little duster here. There we go. And over on the other side of the garden. Oh, and also you can see our sweet potatoes are filling in. I'm trying to use as ground cover. And also we've got the irrigation kind of drip line that I've got. Put that in. And I think finally, I've been trying so for so long, this I think might be the ground cherry I've been trying to get. Hopefully it has enough time to get going. You can see our blackberry is about done. And our asparagus is going to be flowering and setting seeds. Got more sweet potato that I'm using as the ground cover. Some watermelons that I have been trying to train up along this fence. Some okra. Been harvesting some okra. Need to clear though a lot of this and put down some cardboard and wood chips. Got some lettuce going to seed. More sweet potato ground cover. Up there we've got our eggplant. See, I need to do something about all this grass. Starting to creep in from the edge. Planted some more peppers. You can see peppers kind of throughout this section. That's our butter crunch lettuce going to seed. And this is the big trellis with all the squash. And that's about it.